computer hasn't flipped yet. All right. I'm going to call to order Planning Commission meeting, North St. Paul, on February the 5th, 2026. Staff, can you do roll call, please?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Muhic.
Present.
Commissioner Gadbois.
Present.
Commissioner Alvarez.
Present.
Commissioner Weiss.
Present.
Chair Blees.
Present. Sorry, I didn't have my mic on to start. I do now. All right. We are present. Let's take a look at meeting minutes of the 8th of January.
Adopt the agenda.
Oh, we have an agenda to adopt? Oh, well, okay, let's adopt an agenda. I assume people have looked at it. I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Also moved.
Moved by Commissioner Muhic, second.
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Wise. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, now meeting minutes from January 8th. See, I want to get this meeting going. I just want to go fast. The only thing I heard was that the minutes had my presence.
Yeah, there's an error in section 4. It says you asked for a motion to approve the December minutes. And
I did?
you did not.
Wow.
Would've been
Called in
wise.
and. Was that by telepathy, perchance?
So that's been corrected, or will be corrected.
Who made the motion?
Well,
I think it was me. Yeah.
you must have had my hat on or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else about those meeting minutes?
Nope.
Motion to approve the meeting minutes with that correction then?
I'll move.
Motion from Commissioner Wise, second?
I'll second.
Ooh, boy, that was a
Tie.
He
competition.
beat me.
Commissioner Muhic seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. All right. Meeting is open to the public. If anyone would like to stand up and speak, not related to the agenda for the night? No? Okay, in that case, we're going to move on to public hearings. See, we are going quick. All right, staff, could you please discuss the variance request, present the variance request related to 2718 16th Avenue East?
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. It's nice to see you all again. Today, this first public hearing is regarding a variance request from the fence regulations at 2718 16th Avenue East. So the variance requested is pretty simple at its core. However, there's a bit of information to get through, so at any time, feel free to interrupt and ask questions, and Ken as well, if there's anything you'd like to add as we go, feel free. All right, for some background, the applicant of the variance request is Timothy Taylor. He is the owner of the property at 2718 16th Avenue East, and the request is for a variance to allow a 6-foot tall fence in the front yard. We'll show a more detailed image of where that fence would be located, but at this time, notice that it is the lot directly west to the Dairy Queen at 2730 16th Avenue East. So as mentioned, the variance request is for the installation of a 6-foot tall fence along the easternmost lot line of the property within the front yard. The proposed fence material is white vinyl fence. And here we have photos of the existing conditions on the lot. If you'll see right here, this asphalt is the Dairy Queen parking lot. And then down in the bottom right corner, you can see this driveway that belongs to 2718 16th Avenue East. So somewhere under the snow is that east property line. Couldn't really see it due to the snow on the ground. All right, here we have an image of the proposed conditions. The applicant proposes the fence to be placed 1 foot in from the east property line, 60 feet long from the front lot line. And that is shown, it's a little hard to see, but it's in black right here. And the area in red is the first 25 feet of the fence, and that would be what would require a variance for the 6-foot height. I will also note a detailed certificate of survey is included in the packet, so you can see the current house that is there. The most recent aerial photo we have is from the previous home. So code requirements. This property is in the R1 Single Family Residential District. For residential fence regulations, that's found in Chapter 154.010A11. For residential fences, fences and walls within the front yard of a residential property shall not exceed a height of 4 feet. So this variance request is for relief from that particular part of the code. As part of the application process, the applicant provided a statement and answers to questions that we are going to take a look at today. Those are listed here on this slide and are included in the staff report as well. Okay, so now we are going to analyze the different variance criteria. This is what the Planning Commission should consider when deciding whether to recommend approval of a variance or not. It needs to be consistent with the comprehensive plan and zoning ordinance. It should not adversely affect health, safety, or welfare. There should be special conditions that are particular to the property itself. And it should be the minimum variance necessary to alleviate the practical difficulty. Now, the staff report in the packet has detailed explanations to all of these. I will highlight some that have stuck out to staff the most. This first one would be consistency with adopted city plans. As mentioned, the property to the east is the Dairy Queen property that is located in the MU3 Corridor Mixed Use Zoning District. It is true in city code that within the MU3 zoning district, screening shall be provided and established to protect and screen abutting residential districts. Elsewhere in the code, it indicates screening shall be provided along the side and rear property boundaries between commercial, mixed-use, or industrial districts and residential districts. And then in the fence ordinance, it indicates that commercial or non-residential fences may be up to 8 feet in height regardless of the location on the non-residential lot, with the intent to block the view of non-residential site elements from residential property. Now, we have discussed with code compliance staff as well regarding there not being a fence there currently providing screening, and it was determined by staff that the restaurant at 2730 16th Avenue is older than the adopted zoning regulations and exists as a legal non-conforming lot as it regards to the screening requirements. So at this time, the city cannot enforce or demand that the Dairy Queen install the screening. However, any new commercial use on that lot would require compliance, or any major exterior landscape projects would also require that that lot be brought into compliance of the screening requirements. So in any other circumstance throughout the city, screening is required along the entire lot line between commercial and residential uses. That is very clear in the zoning ordinance. So if the Dairy Queen property owner applied for a fence up to 8 feet in height on that same lot line, the city could approve that because it would be considered a non-residential fence. However, since the neighboring property owner on a residential lot applied for that same type of permit, the city could not approve it without a variance due to those front yard regulations. So staff believe that this variance request is in harmony with the adopted city plans due to that. We also believe that the proposal is not likely to have any effects on health, safety, or general welfare of the city. The Planning Commission should, however, discuss whether a 4-foot tall fence in the front yard would be sufficient for screening purposes, or whether the applicant does need it to be 6 feet to screen those headlights. All right. Another aspect that the Planning Commission should look at is whether the variance, if granted, would alter the essential character of the locality. Now, that question is subjective and should be considered by the full body of the Planning Commission. And as far as economic considerations go, they were not listed as a practical difficulty per the applicant's statement. Public hearing notice. This notice of the public hearing was published in the Minnesota Star Tribune on January 26th. Notice was mailed to all property owners within 350 feet of the subject site on January 23rd. Staff did receive one phone call comment that will be read by the chair during the public hearing portion. Now to staff recommendations. Staff recommend the Planning Commission make a motion to request staff to prepare a resolution with findings of fact consistent with an approval of the variance request. The City Council may impose with Planning Commission recommendation conditions considered necessary to protect the public health, safety, and general welfare, and which are directly related to and bear a rough proportionality to the impact created by the variance. Staff do not propose any particular conditions, however, the Planning Commission can make that decision. And that concludes the presentation on this. Here on this slide, we have next steps for public hearing procedures. Now I open it up to any questions from the Planning Commission. You can ask staff questions, and you can ask the applicant representative who is here today if they want to add or present anything else.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just curious, if I understand correctly, the Dairy Queen is a little bit higher than the property is, and I'm just wondering, given the height of like delivery trucks and things like that, is a 6-foot fence going to give enough blockage for lights and sound and that type of thing on the property?
I do know that the applicant indicated that there is a difference between 3 or 4 feet, if that is correct, between the residential property and the Dairy Queen. However, I'm not sure, due to truck height and all of that, what would appropriately screen that.
There's more variation in height further south on the lot.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I'm kind of wondering about is whether we might want to go ahead and, if the property owner wishes to do it, allow him to do a 6-foot fence just right along the whole line, to provide more blockage
That's the
and,
intent, as
yeah.
I understand it.
yeah.
And to be, Christie, you want to clarify where the 6 foot's allowed in that?
Yeah, the 6 feet tall fence is already allowed from the rear property line to the front point of the house. This variance request is just for that front yard portion.
Right, but, okay. The way I was reading it, now maybe I was misreading it, it sounded like you wanted it up to the front of the garage and then a 4-foot fence from the garage forward. So
That was what.
that's what the code required. I'm sorry. My fault for misreading that.
So if the DQ had been a newer property, but it's been there, and it has been there for a super long time, we can't require them to put in their screening. But if we were, they would have put up an 8-foot one. We would have required an 8-foot one?
We would not have required an 8-foot one. I believe the code says up or 6 feet, I believe. And
6
then-
minimum, up to 8?
Yeah.
Well,
And
it's generic with regard to screening to some degree.
Yeah.
They would be able to put up to 8 feet in height, though.
So my wife and I love the DQ there. We go there regularly on our bike and especially on the weekends. And they're open, I think, till 10 at night. And so I would not harsh this person an 8-foot fence if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Being that that's what they
Yeah.
maybe would have had with the DQ. I know that cost would be on them, but I would be open to letting, I mean, I know that area, it's busy, it's super popular on the weekends, and it's a great place, but that isn't gonna affect anything for anybody other than that homeowner who has all that traffic right up against their house. So I would even propose beyond
Yeah.
6 and go, if they want 8, let them have 8. It's totally not gonna affect anybody. The DQ people don't care, it's back quite a ways. So I would even go further and say, if they would have gotten one, if DQ was newer, and they want to have it, I would even propose to let them go further.
The residential zoning code is a maximum of 6 foot.
Sure. But aren't we talking,
Ask for a variance.
aren't we talking about
Yeah.
a variance?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it would be,
So-
I believe it's 7 feet.
Well, can we can recommend a variance of higher, can't we?
That's
Or
what
do
I'm
they have
asking.
to come
Is
back
part of
and
the
request it
No,
again?
we need to address the variance as it's proposed,
Oh, okay.
I think. The other factor that I thought of was the fact that the drive-through was mentioned, and the drive-through has that steep slope
Yeah,
going up to it, which is only going to exacerbate the headlights problem. So I think that's supportive. But I think we need to address the variance as it's requested, and I think it should be sufficient for the conditions.
Yeah. And I know 2 Dairy Queen owners that own all the Dairy Queens around that area, and they know that this Dairy Queen is, they don't want to put a dime into that place because they know they might get ousted at any time when that intersection gets changed. And so,
and it probably will.
and I don't know how it couldn't, right? With
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
would be needed there,
It
so.
will at some point.
Absolutely. So I know they're not, chomping at the bit to be necessarily spending money on helping that resident there, but anyway. So now I understand. I haven't done too many of these yet.
Yeah, but I was leaning the same way. I just wasn't sure whether we could, allow them to go higher than 6 foot, so.
Great. That's the
So,
thing I had. Thanks, Chris.
any other questions?
I have one question. And it sounds like I'm in agreement with all you. I see no reason not to approve this. My question is, if this is approved, would a note be needed or anything needed in this variance that if the owner puts up this fence, that this does not relieve the duty of Dairy Queen, should they put enough work into their property, that they still would need to do adequate screening?
Well, I think the code still,
Code would still be enforced for anything that Dairy Queen
regardless
would
of what,
do.
because it's 2 separate properties. So,
Unless the code changes it. Still.
yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they can't use existing screening as a qualification for their requirement for screening?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Now, they may be able to use that if that fence satisfies that screening requirement. I mean, it's like, the fence is there, and if it satisfies the screening requirement.
Yeah, but
We're
the-
talking hypotheticals
And
through,
the fence is 1 foot on the property owner's property. It's not on the property of the
Yeah.
Dairy Queen,
Yeah.
so.
and it looks like I was wondering in my own mind, the distance from the curb.
Yeah.
Because I think that's important to not get too close to the street, but it looks like it's at least 25 feet, or roughly 25 feet, from the end of the fence to the curb.
Probably about 15.
Well, not if it's graphically accurate. Where's that sketch?
Because that was my only concern, was that it wasn't going to block any sight lines.
Where's your sketch that has the 25 feet marked on it?
Chris loves technology, his computers.
I don't know, to me, it looked like it was more than 15. But that's beside the point. I guess I was just looking at it, making sure we didn't get out to within 2 feet of the curb or something like that. Because then it starts to become a blockage for viewing as people are exiting the parking lot and things like that. So,
And Chris and I were both out there with
yeah.
pictures, and I don't think that's a big concern.
We don't have a vision triangle issue? Okay,
mean-
good. Just wanted to make sure. That was the one thing that was standing out for me.
Plus, people are going to be coming out of that parking lot very slowly, because you couldn't take that corner
No.
You
out of that
spill your
drive-through lane. Well, there is that, I suppose, yes.
Although the blizzards get pretty thick, so. All right, any other comments, or should we have a public hearing on this? I'll open the public hearing at 6:51. And I don't know if anyone from the public wants to speak. We have a couple people here. I will read, this came via phone call from Dan Getzman, the owner of His Land Company LLC that owns the Dairy Queen lot. And that property owner stated that he is in support of this variance application. So that's important to note. In other words, we don't have a neighbor arguing. That being the case, that appears to be the only public comment. So let's close the public hearing at 6:52. If there are no other concerns, I would ask for a motion to approve as recommend approval to the council, I should say, as recommended by the staff.
I motion to approve.
Motion from Commissioner Alvarez, second.
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Weiss. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. None opposed. Okay. Next agenda item is, if I can get back to my agenda.
We're gonna say goodnight to Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Oh, thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. I appreciate that. You have more important things to do. Yeah, let's do this again sometime.
I think he has a dog, he has to get home to walk.
The next item is the
Zoning text.
public hearing related to zoning changes. I know I'm not describing it correctly.
It's a series of zoning ordinances.
It's a series of, yes.
Right. The report's in the packet, and I will go between my PowerPoint and the information in the packet. So there are 3 sets of zoning ordinance text amendments for consideration by the commission tonight. The commission reviewed these back on January 8th of this year. We had a discussion amongst staff and the commission. There's some general consensus on generally supportive of them with some minor changes that I'll highlight when we get into it. So now this is the official public hearing to move forward with the proposed changes. So, whoops, too far. I'll go this way. Section 1, I was proposing to add 3 definitions into the zoning code. And I know, Patrick, you weren't here. We had a discussion about adding the terms bay and fenestration, because those terms come up in some of the design elements that we'll look at in a little bit. And then adding some clarification language to limited production and processing, and give more clarity of what that means and what can be done or not done when you have that type of land use. So that's the first, what I call section of the proposed amendments. Second one was a whole, some changes to Table 3, which is the use districts in the code. I'm going to jump over to that. And in the report that you have in the packet, and as well as I'm putting up on the screen now, the areas that I've highlighted in yellow, no, that wasn't the right thing, darn it, are where I made changes based on the discussion we had at the last meeting. Yeah, let me find, I didn't get the thing ready that I wanted.
I've got it on paper if you want to.
Oh, I've got it here. I just forgot to open it up. So it was quick and ready to go. Here it comes. All right. So this again has the first part where I showed on the previous slide, and then the whole second section, this table is about 7 or 8 pages with all the uses. So the first thing we talked about, we had a discussion about manufactured housing and manufactured home parks. I was proposing that we not even consider manufactured home parks in our R1 zoning district, so that's crossed out here. And then we wanted to clarify that these are specifically, we're talking about manufactured home parks and not modular building or modular homes. That remains as an option in that line. Then I'm just going to quickly scroll through where there are changes that we talked about.
Next one
Again-
on Page 6, motor vehicles.
Yep, and just for clarification, I'm proposing that we drop hospitals from the code because I don't ever foresee a hospital being built in North St. Paul. That didn't seem necessary. We had some discussion on the various retail uses, page 6. Yeah, we had a discussion here in the yellow. I had some language about EV charging stations, and we wanted to make clear. My first intent was changing automobile service station to motor vehicle, so it's more broad. But with a discussion with the commission, we wanted to make sure that we included, it was for fuel sales or EV charging stations with or without retail convenience store, just to make it more broad what's currently happening in the world. So that gets added, and that's why it's in bold and underlined. We had some changes to, again, what's limited production, and I'm just going to quickly screen. So that's all the changes that we talked about in section 2. And if there's any disagreements or misunderstanding, please stop me at any time. Then, because we're changing the term in the table, we're removing automotive service station, convenience store, we have to add in this term to replace that in that other part of the code. So it's referenced both in the table and in section D8, so that's why that change. Similar to section 4 here that's on the screen, striking hospital completely as a what it is. These are the where they have special additional conditions. And I'm just reserving that for future use because otherwise we have to renumber everything. It's much easier just to reserve it. And then section 5, we got into the overlay districts, which was primarily the downtown overlay district, the D1. Again, changing historical commercial to downtown district, making sure it says downtown throughout. And then we had some, again, new language here about the infill buildings and setbacks. And as we move down, we get into, so B and C here is where we have some discussion on the materials. And Patrick, for your benefit, most of these bolded additions are current language in the downtown design manual. I pulled them out of that with a little bit of tweaking, so they're codified in the code. So even if the downtown design manual goes away or gets amend it, or if we never get to it, whatever, now they're in the zoning code. So we have firmer legs to stand on if and when we get the next downtown redevelopment project. So there was some discussion again in B about how we want to make sure, we in the commission, that deteriorated architectural details should be repaired or replaced with like-kind designs and materials to match the original architectural features. I don't even really recall what we said before, but that seemed to work better.
Or we had said that it had to be exact duplicates.
Okay. That seemed a little restrictive.
Yeah.
In C here, there was some discussion about the facades and making sure that they were all of 100% brick and/or stone veneer, including those that are visible from pedestrian walkways and rear approaches that are visible.
Did I misread the meeting minutes from last time about that? I thought the 100% was going to get changed.
I thought
And
so
that,
too.
that comes up, I thought that came up here. Wait a minute.
And/or stone.
Well, and
And there
yeah,
was a-
brick and or
we-
stone, yeah, that was, but it was going to change from 100% to 75%.
Yeah, we did talk about that.
Yes, we did, yeah.
And, okay, let me, I
I'm
don't
assuming
think
it doesn't show up somewhere else.
No, it doesn't, so that, we should talk about that, is that, for C there, is that 100%, again, the 100% is what's in the downtown design manual. We did talk about that, I definitely recall that. I can easily change that if that's what the commission wants for
Yep.
moving forward.
It does say the commission agreed to change 100% to 75%.
And that-
language.
Yep.
I guess, just confirming that's still the wish of the commission?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let me mark that down so I don't
Thank you.
forget it. So that is my error.
Good catch.
Well, so
So you're adding so much, it's not at all unusual to forget 2 keystrokes.
Yeah, just try and find all the typos. I can't even imagine.
yeah. I do have Chris read them, but he,
Well, thankfully, the system works pretty well to do it for you unless they're capitalized.
yeah. So I'll make that change. And the rest of these, I don't think there were any other changes. Again, I tried to highlight in yellow where we had discussion. So then, the rest of it then is, we have a summary publication and then the effective date. So that's really all I have on that item. So I'll take questions, otherwise it's a public hearing.
Apologies for interrupting
No,
your
please, that was-
presentation.
That was perfect. I'd rather do it right in the middle of it.
Are there comments, questions,
I just
further
want to double
discussion?
check one thing here, because I may be misreading it.
Which page are you?
Page 11H, all facades that are visible to pedestrians shall be comprised of at least 50% brick material. So does that need to be changed as well based on our 4C change?
Good point.
Well, that is talking about detailed trim work and, you know,
Well, also, it's talking about building renovation or restoration.
versus.
opposed to
True,
new.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I picked up on the 50%, and I just wanted to double check.
Good catch. Good question.
Anything else?
Actually, I'm going to go back to that point for just a second, because we're talking about restoration projects. Is there a chance that we've got anything in the downtown area that is not currently at least 50% brick material? I'd hate to see us, have a historic building that we suddenly had to require them to have 50% brick material if they didn't have it, but we may not. It may be a point that isn't worth considering. I'm just thinking about it.
I can think of at least one.
I'm thinking, because,
Not brick.
is the old,
there's some that have siding that may be
Yeah.
over brick that we don't know.
There are definitely some buildings that do not have brick or stone on them, no
Would
question.
changing this require them to retroactively do that, just like we can't ask DQ to?
No, you can't make them
So it
retroactively
wouldn't-
do it.
It wouldn't affect that.
But if
they
they're
do
doing
a
a renovation,
Renovation,
Yeah.
Then they would have to.
Right.
yeah.
then the 50% rule would kick in if they're doing a renovation of their facade.
So I'm just thinking, do we need to add a line in there saying something to the effect of, you know, unless the historic structure was not comprised of 50% or more brick? Or something to that effect.
What's considered historic?
Yeah.
Well, there's the downtown district from Helen on the, it's the, like.
Because there are
it's
buildings,
Basically from the
yeah.
VFW to the Legion.
for example, the old original City Hall.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
That is siding, basically. If they were doing a renovation, would we want them to change it to brick or stone? I'm not so sure, because there's a historic reference there.
Right. If I may, what I would recommend is leaving it in, if we have to cross that bridge and somebody has to ask for a waiver of that particular condition, handle it on a case by case.
Then we address it at the time, yeah.
And they may have a very good reason.
I think there could be very good reasons, if you look at some of the historic buildings, the buildings that have notable history, let's put it that way.
Sorry to get
Yeah.
us off on that alley, but
Case
just-
by case is a good way to deal with that,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, I think
I
so,
think
too.
the rules are there. There's always exceptions to the rules for particular conditions, so
Remember, it depends.
it depends. Okay, if there's no other comments, I will open a public hearing to address this at 7:07 PM. And
And I did not receive any comments.
no comments. So that being the case, let's give it a minute. Or say we gave it a minute, and we'll close the public hearing at 7:08. If there are no other comments or questions, I would entertain a motion to approve as presented with the one correction made.
Also move.
Moved by Commissioner Muhic. Second?
I will second.
Second,
Just to be clear, this
Commissioner
is
Gadbois.
recommending approval to the council.
Recommending approval to the council,
With the one
yes.
change we
Yes.
discussed.
Yes. Second by Commissioner Gadbois. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have no nays. We are down to
Quick Trip.
Quick Trip.
All right. And normally this would have been a public hearing, but I initially missed that they were doing a conditional use permit amendment, so we're going to have the city council hold the public hearing
Okay.
for that. So it should have been, but that was my fault. So Quick Trip. Great success story. They're doing so well that they want to add a car wash. It's a very short overview. They were originally approved with a conditional use permit and site plan approval in 2019 and 2020. This proposal will add, if approved, a second car wash bay on the north side of the facility. This is the location of Quick Trip. I think most people know where it is on McKnight by Highway 36. The zoning there, it's in our MU3, our core mixed-use corridor. Again, this is the site on the corner. Current aerial photo, again, with the gas bays out front, the diesel bays on the east side, the indoor storage facility to the east, McKnight Road to the west, the apartments to the south, and Highway 36 and the French Road to the north and the pond. The addition will go back in here, and I'll get to that site plan in a second. Oh, so to quickly find the project plan set. And I know what I did there. bear with me a minute, we'll get there. I was
It's going to narrow that driveway behind them a good bit.
a little bit. Let me find the plans. I know.
I'm not sure it will narrow it very much. It's pretty wide right now.
Yeah.
I guess it's just that they park so many employee cars back there, but I'm sure they can move them around.
Here we go.
They need to leave enough room for
All right.
semis
Trucks, yeah.
to go through.
Get into the plan set here.
Our, dismiss our chatter because we're just kind of being like the Jeopardy song
I understand.
while you're
Appreciate the
looking for
patience.
your stuff.
Oh, okay. So this shows, is this an isometric view?
Mm-hmm.
Very
Pulled
good.
that out of the
Very
way.
good.
Yeah?
Drafting class way back in the day. Showing the addition on the rear of the building. This, I'm going to just quickly try to get to the, whoops, no. No, I'm hitting the wrong darn buttons, I'm so excited. Okay, here we go. This again shows the second car wash bay being added. This is not oriented correctly for north-south, but it's really no other changes to the site here. This is the site plan that shows there would be some demolition, landscaping removal here to fit in the second car wash bay, lane, both. This shows what it will look like when it's completed. One thing to point out, they currently have 1 or 2 transformers in this area that they are proposing to move here for their electrical service. They will have to coordinate that with our city electric department, which they're aware of. My only concern is that pad looks awful close to that existing tree. I'm not sure if that will work with the root ball of that tree or the future root ball of that tree, so I'm recommending that they move that tree or replace it someplace else as part of the landscape plan. I'm just, it looks good on paper, but I don't see that tree living a long, healthy life like that. So that's, again, this is more detail. So there ends up being about an 8-foot wide landscape strip here after the addition. So there's a little bit of room. So the driveway itself around does not change at all. So the queuing doesn't change, the access in and out don't change. It's,
They're gonna widen the driveway, is what you're saying?
no. No, this existing driveway around the back does not change. The addition goes into the landscape island that's here. The landscape island narrows down from 20 feet to 8 feet or something
Gotcha.
to accommodate the second car wash lane. So, and really, that's the only, none of the front of the building, the front of the access, none of that changes with this. Oops, darn it, did it again. Let's see.
Funny, as many times as I've been around that building, I didn't ever catch that landscape.
I don't get a car.
On that
wash,
side.
so I didn't notice that.
Yeah,
They're pretty low shrubs.
yep. And this shows the proposed landscaping again to fill in.
I think the landscaping being proposed exceeds what's there by a significant amount.
It does. I talk about it in the staff report. So this again shows the building from all the 4 sides. All the materials will match what's there. The brick colors that Quick Trip uses everywhere, and their green roof. Another floor plan showing the car wash bay. There's all sorts of plans. I cut the plan set down from about 100 pages to 30. I didn't think you needed all the electrical details for this. So a high-level summary, really no major issues. It's a conditional use permit amendment because there is a major addition change to the site plan, so the code requires that. The site plan approval itself, it meets all the setbacks. The only issue I had noted was about that landscaping and that one tree. I'm concerned about that. The watershed district has reviewed it, and they said it's a small enough project, they don't even need a permit because they're not doing that much work. One thing they are doing too is, I won't pull it up, there is a exterior light pole near the entrance of the existing car wash that's coming out. And as part of their demolition, I did not see any replacement lighting going in that I could pick up on the plan, so I'm recommending that they submit a new updated exterior lighting plan for the rear part of the building to show, are they adding wall packs? Is there a replacement light standard going in? I don't know. I'm sure it'll, can meet all the conditions, or all our standards, but that'd be something we'd want to review before issuing a permit. Our city engineer reviewed it, the proposal. They point out too that there will probably be additional sewer access charges with this project because they will be using more water and they'll have to pay those fees accordingly. Again, coordinating with our electric department. But there's really no grading other than taking out that landscape island and shrinking it down. So it's really a pretty minimal impact. All that said, it's staff's opinion, this meets the requirements for the conditional use permit and site plan approval with some conditions. So our recommendation is we have 2 resolutions in your packet. One recommending approval of the conditional use permit amendment. The second one is recommending approval of the site plan for Quick Trip as presented. And again, those will be recommended resolutions that will go to the council on February 17th. And I'll take questions.
Just to bring this to the city's attention, because this is immediately adjacent to MnDOT right-of-way and the stormwater retention pond, I did call them today and require that they send us the plans. Certainly don't anticipate that there will be any problems, but, you know, we will be looking at them as well and have a decision in about 3 weeks' time.
Okay.
Is there an intermediate retention in that triangular zone? Right there? Is that retention, I thought it was, from the original development, there's a little triangle area north of that driveway. And I think that's retention for our site.
Like it might be, yeah. My concern was the pond behind
Yeah,
it, but,
because see, then there's this, which is the overflow,
yeah.
the emergency flow.
But like I say, I certainly don't anticipate that it's going to give any problems to us.
What would your concern be for any change at all for the pond? It's the drain is going into the city sewer.
Well, just, you know, the way that the way the driveway could be possibly sloped, you know, could increase drainage into it. But it's
not
just,
changing at all, though.
Yeah.
but the thing is, it is immediately adjacent to a MnDOT right-of-way, and by state law, it has to be reviewed.
Oh,
No.
Technically, they're adding some hard surface,
Yeah.
a little bit. So technically, the runoff is,
Well, and.
yeah, the roof is considered a,
the roof is considered hard surface?
Because it won't absorb.
yeah. So they're taking out some landscaping and putting in hard surface.
Yeah, like I say, it would,
It's a small thing.
it would shock me if we had any problems
Yeah.
with it. It's just,
Agreed.
you know, had to go through the
And
rigmarole.
If the watershed had concerns, then there would be a different story
Yeah,
there. But
yeah.
it's too small of a project to even be of concern.
And, you know, and we did know that they'd be pushing their wastewater into the sewer system.
Yeah.
So,
That's not happening. Okay.
I will add that as, just as a MnDOT review and approval.
And the condition that you recommended, the checking of the site light
Yes,
to
that's
ensure that that's,
in the resolution in 3.0, conditions to be satisfied prior to starting any grading or site work.
What was their hope to start this as timeline?
But they haven't said, but
They haven't
I'm
asked.
sure last fall would have been.
Right.
the drawings say issued for construction, so
Yeah.
they're ready to go. I'm guessing they'll
Let's-
dig
they
in
haven't
spring.
applied-
Yeah.
They haven't applied for a
They'll
building,
probably dig in spring.
yeah.
and like I say, we'll have the letter to them in about 3 weeks' time, so
And I'll-
it
I'll
normally
make sure-
takes us 21 days, give or take a day.
I'll make sure the applicant knows that.
And I assume they're submitting for SAC,
They'll have to,
Yeah.
yeah, as part of the.
if they
building-
haven't already done so.
Yeah, as part of the building permit.
Yep,
And it's always good to get ahead of that.
yep. Sometimes that's fast, but not usually.
Say that again. What is SAC?
Sewer access charge.
which the Met Council.
The Met Council manages and charges. They do the review and approval. It's a separate submittal.
There's
And
fees
the
that
s-
are charged
and the
based
city
on
has
the
a fee.
Sanitary sewage flow that a
Yeah.
project creates.
City has a multiplier on that, right?
I'm sure we do, yes.
Pretty sure. I don't remember what the multiplier
And the building permit can't be issued until we have a number, so
Yeah,
Quick Trip, for example, right now might be charged 10 sacks.
yeah,
And the car wash might add one more sack.
or 2 or 3
some
because of
such-
all the water.
Right.
Yeah,
And so then they get billed extra because they're creating more
Sure,
sanitary sewage that goes down the pipes that needs to be
makes
treated.
sense.
And the city doesn't want to pay for that. We want the property owners to.
I definitely have gotten the impression that this Quick Trip is does a lot more business than they thought they were going to when they planned it.
popular. It's crazy popular.
I've been pushing them to find a second location in town. I haven't had that luck yet, but
What's interesting to me is, off the record, but I'll tell you about my trips to Chicago and back. But is there any other discussion on this topic, or should we entertain a motion to recommend to council approval of, do we have to do these separate?
I
Two
I think you can-
resolutions?
I think you can combine them both.
Combine the resolutions?
Yeah.
Unless we have hesitation by any party sitting at this table, we can combine the
I have no
resolutions.
hesitation.
No, I don't either.
How about a motion to approve, or to recommend approval to the council?
I would motion to recommend approval.
Motion from Commissioner Alvarez, a second.
I'll make that second.
Second from Commissioner Gadbois. Any further discussion?
And to be clear, that's for both.
That's for both. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We have approval for that.
And that we're also scheduling for the 17th,
Excellent. Thank you.
full night with the council.
Yeah,
That's good.
they always have a lot to do.
Yes, they do.
They are busy.
All right. We're down to reports, believe it or not.
One thing to report, if you didn't pick up on it, Stephanie has resigned.
Okay.
That's why she's not here.
Yeah.
Said she got too busy, and so we've interviewed one person for the first vacancy on the Planning Commission. We will be setting up a second interview for a second. We had 2 applicants. We haven't done the second interview. We will do that. With any luck at all, we'll have 1 or 2 new members on for the March meeting.
Excellent.
I don't,
Assuming they study up.
not to point them out, but Pete sitting in the audience was
Yeah.
the first interview.
Yeah, I had to say that for his benefit.
You mean we've been exposing ourselves to him through?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Hopefully you haven't scared him off.
He's gonna say no.
We'll never see him again.
We haven't really brought in any new applications I can think of. We'll continue to work on code updates as time allows.
Are you looking for more applicants?
Planning Commission,
Yeah,
well, we're always looking, but,
okay.
yeah. Because no decisions were made. Ultimately, the mayor and the council make the appointments. I don't know, maybe Councilmember Nordby has anything additional he'd want to report.
The only thing I'll report is, again, I thank you for your hard work and commission, and all the work you do. When we were approving the lineup here, one of the things I did bring before the city, and if you know of anyone, all commissions would be open if there are any students, if we wanted to appoint a student member like some of the other commissions. So if you know a young, hardworking, up-and-comer, from this area that would enjoy attending these meetings, please have them contact the city.
Do you think anyone will enjoy attending these meetings? Okay, sorry.
I do.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
What do you mean?
I'm wondering if there's anybody from the building the students that are doing the building here in town, that we, you know, if we were to solicit to the, whatever group is doing that, if they're local, maybe there might be someone that'd be interested in joining
Good
us.
point. Good point.
Yeah, they're for St. Paul College.
That particular one.
Yes.
Yep.
They aren't doing it through Century College
Well,
anymore.
that program is no longer.
That program is no longer.
Yeah, unfortunately, he retired.
Good that we found a replacement for that.
Yes.
Commissioner Muhic, do you have any report?
Not that I can think of.
Commissioner Wise?
I do not.
Any others?
Do not.
I would like to make comment that I managed, you know, after numerous opportunities, I managed to go to the Coffee with Council last week, and it was just really encouraging. There were quite a few people there, not as many as I'd like to see if it was my choice, but the little coffee shop is just beautiful. And, I mean, it's just really a friendly place, and the one candy,
Flyby, isn't it?
what's it called?
Yeah, flyby.
Yeah, the Flyby, yeah.
Yep.
It's just a really nice spot. So even if you don't go there for the Coffee with Council, go there for fun.
Have you ever heard of Shorty's Appliance?
Mm-hmm.
So they just moved into that building off where the Nature Nectar, whatever, if you're going to head down 36
okay.
across from Fleet Farm.
Okay,
They own that.
okay.
Shorty's owns the Sweeties and the Flyby.
The other thing, yeah, the sweets. The other thing we did is we went to the bakery.
Yeah.
Had some very good baked goods. I was pleasantly surprised at the quality
Oh, it's,
of what they had there. So,
yeah. I hope they last longer than the last one.
yeah, Hector was extremely friendly.
He
and-
is very friendly.
Yeah. So I just recommend continue to look at local business and go and be patrons, because there's some really nice spots to go.
Mr. Chair, I did think of one other thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know, if you don't, the car show for this year, the cruisers have dialed it back. They're only going every other Friday, starting in June. So I think there will be 7 or 8 Fridays this year and not every Friday, for a variety of reasons, including their primary leaders are aging out and they need more help, and it's a lot of work. And they're getting tired. And they're also getting, they say, tired of how they are treated some of the time by the visitors that don't always listen or play by the rules. So at least for this year, that changed. The city is trying to maybe find alternative groups to fill in the other Fridays. That's a work in progress, and I haven't heard any more than that. So it'll be different, but they'll still be around at least 8 Fridays this year.
When's that first one, the first car show? Do you remember?
I want to say the first Friday in June, not till June. I know it's June, but
Good to know.
That'll be sad if it goes away. And, yeah.
All right. Someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Motion from Commissioner Gadbois, a second.
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Wise. All in favor to adjourn? Say aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye. Thank you,
7:28.
everybody.